Now we'll go over stereotypes, social groups represented in prime time, social identity theory, and the stereotype content model, as well as counteracting stereotypes. So first we need to define a stereotype or what stereotypes are. Stereotypes are assumptions, that's the important word, assumptions about different groups of people related to a variety of characteristics, including traits, expected behaviors, and physical features, roles, etc. Importantly, stereotypes exist because of the communication that surrounds them, meaning stereotypes wouldn't exist if we didn't communicate about them, right? So notice that there's in this description and this conceptual definition, there is nothing about truths, right? So assumptions are not truths and are not based in factual evidence. So stereotypes can be positive or negative, both are harmful, right? So a good way to approach this is how you think about your own implicit biases or stereotypes around direct people in your life, like me. So, stereotypes when you think of a professor might be something like white hair, right? Older, male, right? That's the stereotype. Glasses, a lot of the time. Like a tweed sport coat with elbow pads, right? um, White mostly. So stereotypes of that professor are those characteristics or features. That doesn't mean that's true. And we can see that in this exact example because I am not the stereotypical professor. Now, there's a difference between prototypes and stereotypes. A prototype is the ideal, an individual's ideal construct of a person or group of people. So I could ask you what your prototype is for a professor, and that might look very different. Your ideal professor, that might look very different from your stereotypical professor, right? So I hope that's making sense to you. If you have any questions about this, please reach out to me. We all have implicit biases, including me. So bear that in mind as we discuss these topics moving forward. And the difference between implicit and explicit biases are those ones that maybe we don't even know we have. And they are usually, if you've heard the term microaggression, they can come out as microaggressions where it's not the harmful intent is not intended, but it is still harmful, right? So this is something that our brains do automatically. It's a categorical or it's where our brain cognitively wants to categorize individuals or groups of people for several reasons. So just because it's a natural process doesn't mean that it's good, right? But it traces back to that categorization process, traces back to early times. So, okay. Speaking of the reasons why, right? Our when we categorize things, people, groups, it increases cognitive efficiency. So it allows our brains to work faster. And again, that doesn't mean that it's good. But that's one of the things that why this happens in the first place is so that our brains work faster. And then also categorizing is not inherently positive or negative. So categorizing, if you think about you have a bunch of jelly beans in a bowl and you pick them out and categorize them and put them into different bowls based on flavor, that's not inherently positive or negative. What happens is that society ascribes value to certain jelly beans or people, right? And that's when it becomes harmful. So I hope that metaphor makes sense. Um, and also, we do this in the first place because it facilitates information processing via organization. So that if we're organizing, categorizing, it helps us also process what is happening in our immediate surroundings. So I'm going to take a break from recording and we'll come back in just a moment.